So let's see right now how we can traverse and sort this kind of arrays that store decimal numbers, and we're going to be inside this onCreate method. And so first thing we need to do is to make sure that we initialize an array, and so we're going to have an array of floats, and we're going to make sure that we give it a proper name. So let's say prices in store, and so then we just have to initialize a couple of values, and also we want to make sure that we have that f attached to the end, so specify that they are floating point numbers. Also, if you see this 75, it works as it is right here, but if you leave it as 75, it's an integer, and Android Studio will typecast it to float, but you can just name it as a 75 point, and just give the letter F at the end as a suffix, and then it's just much better because it's more explicit. And then we're gonna have a couple more values, let's say like this, 0.15, 99.6, and so on. So we can have a couple of them. And as you can see right now, we finished with the initialization of this float array. We just have to traverse it, and we can traverse it this time with a ForEach loop. So what this means is that you don't have an iterator. That means that you don't have an index. You're just gonna display these things on the screen. So we're gonna have a message. So we're gonna say display numbers, or display prices would be much more specific to our application. So first of all, we just make sure that we display this message, and then we're gonna go and use this ForEach loop, or enhanced for loop. Basically, it is more often called in Java enhanced for loop because it doesn't really, you don't have to type for each. You just have to use for, and it works just like that. So you have, first of all, you need to specify some kind of iterator, but this iterator is not going to store the indexes, it's going to store the exact values. So this iterator will have this value, and then this one, and this one, and so on. It won't have the indexes. So we're just gonna call it float price, and then you have to use this colon, and then you say prices in store. And what this means is that for each price in the array of prices in store, you're just gonna have to display something, or just use some functionality, and we're gonna say we're just gonna attach this price. So that's what we're gonna be displaying. So basically right here is our string, and here is the exact number that's going to be displayed on the screen. And so that's how it works. Just make sure that when you have this kind of loop, you don't do any computations, because if you do, for example, price equals, or just price plus equals 10, you're just updating this price for this loop, but it's not going to be updated in the array. So if you want to make some updations in the array, then make sure that you're not using the for loop, because they won't get stored. They will just be displayed on the screen, but then this price will change, and it's not really updating something in the array. So that being said, let's see how this works. We're just gonna use our emulator, and we're gonna see, first of all, display the message that will say that we're gonna display all the prices, and then we have all the prices displayed on the screen, as you can see right now. So after this finishes, I'm gonna show you how we can also sort them. So if you want to sort them, what you need to do is, as I said with integers, you have to use arrays, because these are still arrays as the integer ones. And so then you have to just pass in prices in store, and right now we have it sorted in ascending order. and as I run the emulator you will see that the prices will go accordingly. So I should have left the message display prices in order, in ascending order. As you can see, they're just going from lowest to highest, and that's how it works. And after that I'm going to show you how to do also, if you want to make sure that you have in descending order, you have to use this collections.reverse order. And after that, as you can see right now, we have again an error, and it says found float array, and it's required float with capital F, and that's the type of array that we need. And so we just need to make sure that we change this to this kind of float. There's just a wrapper class for float. What that means is that it's not a primitive type float. The primitive types are the ones that are highlighted in blue. As you can see, this one is highlighted in blue. This one is not highlighted in blue. It's just an object, and we're gonna use this object whenever we want to use this collections library. And so right now we have it in descending order, and also we're gonna say display prices from highest to lowest. This is something you want in a store. Usually you want to sort them because that's just how it works when you have stores, and you will see just how you can do this. So we're gonna see the first one, the highest price, and then we're gonna go, as you can see right now, to all the other prices. And after we finish this example, I'm just going to show you how it works for the double data type. So if you want to have double, what you need to do is I'm just going to go back a bit and just undo all these changes. So now we have this, instead of float, we're going to have double, and we don't need to have F over here. We can just use more decimals as well. And still, even if it's not a problem that we have F specified at the end, we don't want to just leave Android Studio to make the typecasting from float to double. We just want to keep them like this. And so we also can have, now these are prices, but we also can have negative values, just so you know. And we're gonna have this sorting in ascending order. Let's say if it's in descending order, then we just keep it like this. We just pass prices in store and everything works. Also keep in mind that we have to use double right here, so we specified for each double variable price in prices in store. We're gonna just display the price. And so what we need to do is just to run the emulator, and it runs and it just works as it worked before with the floats. But if you want, for example, to make sure that you're displaying them, right now they are from lowest to highest, but if you want to make sure that they're from highest to lowest, then what you need to do is to make sure that you're using double, which starts with a capital D, because that's just the wrapper class that we use. And so this is the one. So I'm just going to leave a comment right here. Keep in mind the primitive one, primitive data type, is double, and the wrapper class slash object is double like this. So just to make sure that you understand, this is the same kind of concept, double, int, float, and then for this one you have integer and float with capital F. And as you can see right now, this is how it works. There's just these are the things that we're going to be using, the wrapper classes that we're going to be using if you want to use that collections, and then you want to reverse the order. And there are many other functionalities that you have to use. Now you don't really need to specify it like this, it works just like that. And we're going to specify that it's descending order, and so we have most of the things already done. For this one, we just want to have, if you're using the wrapper class, again, it doesn't really work if you have 75. As you can see, we have an error right here. It says that it's Java lang double, and it's required double, and it was found int. So just make sure that you put 0.0, And that's how we solve all the problems. We have the descending order sorting, and then we just want to say from high to low. Okay, and we can run the emulator and you will see what's going to be displayed on the screen. It just works as it was working before. There are just a few quick adjustments that you need to do if you want to change from float to double. Also a couple of errors that you have to manage if you're using the descending order. Just as you saw over there, you just have to change from 75 to 75.0, and that's how it works.